Do you remember any family chores that you had to do?
Oh yeah, man. Talk about chores. We got to do. My brother and I. My father used to raise pigs over a place called Ferdinand Pen. You know, and we had just to get around getting peelings, cutting off from food from the neighbor, or not just the neighbor, around the area, by providing them wood, and they give us these things, and we use it as a feeding, peeling them, and boiling for the pigs. And that was one of our chores, by feeding the pigs and taking care of the pigs. And we used to have some goats, some fowls around the yard and things like that.
Okay.
And my chore was keeping the yard clean.
Okay. So you had to clean up after the animals and.
Yes. Not clean up, not keeping up with the animals, because they were in a area that you doesn't have to.
Okay.
But like the fowls, you have the coops that you have the fowls in. You have to keep clean the coops sometimes, you know.
Okay. All right.
But the yard itself, per se, I had to see that it's been swept. See? Properly.
Okay. Did you get an allowance while doing those things?
We don't get no allowance, man.
Yeah.
Your peers have allowance to give you. They want allowance.
And what was school like for you?
School?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, school was alright. School was alright.
Is there any favorite subjects or things that you didn't like over there?
Well, my subjects that I really loved in school was geography, I know, maths, not maths, at that time we called it arithmetic. Arithmetic, maths, English, and general knowledge and everything like that. Yeah.
So you would have had to have worn uniforms back then, right?
The first school that we were going, at that time they wasn't wearing uniforms.
Okay.
But then, at the end of our school days, they started bringing uniforms.
Okay. Do you remember the names of the schools that you would have gone to?
Oh yeah. Spanish Owned Catholic Elementary School.
Okay. Alright. And so you grew up, you all grew up Catholic. How far was the church?
The church was right on the school grounds.
Okay.
The front of King Street was the church, and the back, also an entrance from the King Street. I think it's 17th King Street, Spanish Town. This entrance, a side entrance, was entrance for the school, but the main entrance of the school was on Whitechurch Street, the back of it, the back of the church.
So back then, did you go to mass just on the weekend, or did you do it as part of the school?
Mass?
Yeah.
We go to mass, let's see now, mostly on Sunday morning. But we could go to mass if you're available and time in the week.
Okay. Did the whole family go, or was it?
It depends on the things that you have to do, what the children have to do. But we all goes to mass on Sundays.
Okay. So from grandpa on down, everybody.
Well, you know, I never seen my grandpa go to Catholic church. He wasn't the one that goes to church, but you as a child could never miss it. He was so strict. He was a God-fearing man, and he sends he see that he goes to church and mass, and he was even interested that when you come back from mass, especially Sundays in the afternoons, he collects the children around who's available and asks them questions of the texts that you got from the priest and all like that, and he tries to instill in you the purpose of what the service was about and so on.
Okay.
I can add to that also. He had two friends. One was Seventh-day Adventist, and another one was Jehovah's Witnesses.
Hmm.
And these three men are friends.
Mm-hmm.
And they generally stays on our veranda on Saturdays. Mr. Hallen was this Adventist man. He lives about, I per se, about 2.5 miles from home. That's further up Brunswick Avenue, Canal Bridge. That's Mr. Hallen. And Mr. Foote was living down further down Walks Road, because they, after a while, they became not as members per se. They built a church on Brunswick Avenue. A link of the Jehovah's Witnesses. And they can meet mostly. Mr. Foote comes up to our home. Mr. Allen generally stays after church, Adventist church, comes and spend the time with us at home. So he and my dad and Mr. Foote, they convert together, three, reading the Bible, not reading, talking about the Bible, scriptures in general. That's it. And he didn't really study the Bible, but they couldn't fool him. They couldn't study at anything at all. Yeah. So I remember that plainly.
Okay. So, how old were you when he passed?
Oh, my dad?
Yeah.
He died in 1944. That's 44. Let's see. The 1930 to 44, that's 15 years.
Okay. All right. So, what do you remember about when he died? The circumstances and.
Oh, it was a grave circumstances. At the time, I had a lame leg. I was sick. I had a lame leg. And he died in the country. He didn't die in town. He died in the country because he was cultivating up there in the country at the time. And my mother went up there the week, and she left him on the Friday. I came down back to Spanish Town to pursue what she was doing, all the things that she brought from the country to sell and all like that. And I understand, or we understood from the rest of the family that was left up in the country with him, that after she left, that he wasn't feeling well. And then she knew that he wasn't feeling well because he had some pains in his chest or something like that. But she left, and he's sorry that he hadn't gone with her. From what we heard, that he told the other family. And that was Friday. And he passed away, I think it's Tuesday morning. So that was it.
Okay. So I can't remember hearing different stories like that. It was, what was the word I'm looking for? That he had. So some were like symptoms of a heart attack, or someone said that he might have choked when he was sick.
No, I don't think about choke. If it could be a heart attack, but I don't know. It could be a heart attack, but I knew that from what I do understand. Because at that time in life, you see, your kids, you're in such an environment that you wasn't thinking a lot of what's going on around your parents' life. You accept your parents as they did because you know they love you and things like that. But there are certain things that you wasn't interested in at the time. Right? But I understood that he had some pain in his chest. So, whether it was gas, heart attack, I don't know. But I'm quite sure it's not anything that's choke. He choked.
Okay. So when I remember Mom saying something about which of the kids got to go to the funeral and which ones didn't.
Didn't, yes.
So did you said you had a lame leg. You said you had a lame leg at the time. Were you able to go, or did you?
I didn't go.
Okay.
I don't remember. No, I don't think I went.
Okay.
I didn't went.
So it would have just been Aunt Rosa, Aunt Nez, and Uncle Rupert then.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I don't think the three last ones went. No. I think we stayed with some family member because at the time we didn't have transportation.
Yeah.
We didn't have transportation. They went up by mule and cart to the country, something like that. And funny, the man that used the cart for the transportation, when he came back, he died. He had a heart attack when he came back and died.
Wow.
Yeah. But I think he has stress. He had stress. I'm suggesting maybe he had stress and going with to the place, coming back. You know that may cause it. Could be. Yeah.